Let's go.
Mineya follows you.
Achilles says, Asteria. It is possible to provide security against other ills, but as far as death is concerned, we men live in a city without walls.
Asteria utters the words to open the gate. Pairat says, Heristeria. Hieros Mineya. Apella says, Adine Odgar is at the gate. Socrates Dionysus is at the gate. Asteria, as she walks into the hall, she greets the present, walking toward the throne. Under the watchful gaze of Father Zeus and the gods of Olympus, we gather as one people. Make yourselves comfortable and take your seats, she says, gesturing broadly towards the benches. Citizens of Sparta, the queen sits today upon other thrones, carrying Spartan wisdom where our name must resound. In her stead, and by authority granted to me, I shall guide the works of this Apella.
Mineya settles down on the hard seat.
Asteria concentrates, preparing to give the opening speech. My fellow Spartans, honorable members of this assembly, The distant echo of chisels and hammers will have reached your ears, and your watchful eyes will not have missed the lines of helots carrying rocks and timber. Our polis grows day by day thanks to the tireless work of our craftsmen and architects. Temples are being erected in honor of the gods, unproductive land is being cultivated to feed the citizens, and buildings are being raised to perform the essential duties of our community. But while all this cannot fail to fill us with justified pride, we must not forget a fundamental truth. The greatness of a city does not lie in stone, nor in its walls however solid, nor in its marble however splendid and precious. It is from the virtue of its citizens that it draws its strength. Asteria looks up at those present. It is our tireless zeal that makes Sparta great, the dedication with which we carry out our duties, the ingenuity with which we undertake great works that arouse the wonder of barbarians and foreigners. Priestess says, "Are you discussing something?" Asteria, her gaze becomes serious and she continues. Sparta will continue to be great only to the extent that we remain faithful to the customs of our ancestors, and that is precisely what I urge you to do. Honor the gods, temper your bodies in the arena, be an example to your children as your fathers and mothers were to you. May these buildings therefore be silent witnesses to our urity, not monuments to our vanity. Just as the Morai weave the fate of men, so we weave the fate of Sparta with every choice, every action, every thought. With these words I declare the session open. May the gods grant us wisdom in our deliberations. Sparta blessed by the gods to protect us forever. Haro. Priestess says, "Are you worshipping?"
Mineya says, Aro. Aro.
Asteria says, "Sparta blessed by the gods to protect us forever." Haro. Asteria takes few steps back toward her throne. Asteria looks at the zither, then says, "The very air seems to whisper for melody. Shall we not answer its plea?"
Mineya says that if no one offers, she is happy to do it.
Asteria says, "Please do, Ephor."
Mineya nods. Mineya approaches the center of the room where the lyre rests on the table. She pushes the stool aside, sits down, settles herself and takes a deep breath. Mineya places her fingers on the strings and begins to move them gently, making them vibrate, playing a beautiful melody. Mineya wishes to delight listeners as much as the muses who inspired her.
Asteria follows the movement of Ephor's fingers on the strings, apparently amazed by the grace and speed of the performance.
Mineya enjoys playing this zither. Each sound is magical.
Asteria raises a wide smile.
Mineya notices that she is leaving the audience silent. Captivati, maybe.
Asteria says, Apella si.
Mineya wonders if she should play another piece.
Asteria says, You seem to have put a spell on us, Ephor. Your fingers carry a sort of magic. Delight us with one more song.
Mineya smiles.
Asteria says, Let me tell you that when it comes to music and poetry, we have little to envy other cities in Hellas, she says with ill-concealed pride.
Mineya says, if you let yourself be inspired, the muses will guide your fingers across the strings.
Asteria says, I have no doubt that the muses are whispering sweet melodies in your ears right now, and you know how to translate them so well.
Mineya is happy to be able to delight everyone.
Asteria says, Apella si. Your strings have woven the fabric between Earth and Olympus. Go now with the blessing of the Muses upon you, she says, preparing for her next task. Well, since you already began a new song, who am I to interrupt? She says with a smile.
Mineya plays this last melody. Mineya apologizes, explaining that she gets carried away by the music and loses track of time. Mineya nods, smiles and stops playing.
Asteria says, "You must not apologize, Ephor. It must be Apollo himself who speaks through you."
Mineya gets up and returns to her seat.
Asteria says, Apella si. I would listen to you all night long, but the meeting requires me to carry on with my duties. As the Ephor settles in, she proceeds with her next task. We require one versed in letters to capture the essence of this assembly. Let the scribe make himself known.
Mineya looks around and sees no hands raised. She offers herself again.
Asteria says, "Very well, thank you, Ephor Mineya." Now I call upon Hieros Socrates and Lamy to perform Apella opening prayers. Priestess shouts, "Hestia, you who tend the holy house of the Lord Apollo, the far shooter at goodly Pytho, with soft oil dripping ever from your locks, come now into this house, come, having one mind with Zeus the all-wise, draw near, and withal bestow grace upon my song. We offer you a libation of sweet honeyed wine. Hail almighty Zeus the Thunderer, hail all the gods of Olympus." Priestess shouts, "We offer you a libation of sweet honeyed wine." May the gods bless all in attendance of these prayers.
Socrates pours libations of honey-sweet wine from his chalice for the gods. To Heracles. Heracles, stout-hearted and mighty, powerful Titan, strong-handed, indomitable, author of valiant deeds, you change your form, O everlasting and kindly Father of time. Ineffable, wild, Lord of all to whom many pray, all-conquering and meddlesome, archer and seer, omnivorous begetter of all, and most sublime helper, who, for the sake of men, subdued and tamed savages' races, because you desired peace, which brings dazzling honors and nurtures youths. Self-grown, unwearying, bravest child of earth. You hurled your prime-bow thunderbolts, O illustrious Paean. Round your head dawn and dark night cling, and your 12 deeds of valor stretch from east to west. Immortal, world-wise, boundless and irrepressible, come, O blessed, bringing all charms against disease, with club in hand, drive evil bane away, and with your poisonous darts ward off cruel death. Socrates pours libations of honey-sweet wine from his chalice for Heracles. Socrates salutes.
Asteria says, Herida, salutes. Thank you for your prayers. You have been faithful vessels of divine will. Withdraw now, Hieros, with the assembly's appreciation. Priestess says, are you worshipping? Asteria slowly rises from her throne, her robe gently brushing the floor, and walks to the center of the room. In ordinary circumstances, at this point the Queen would call upon me to report on the state of our population and our relations with other kingdoms. Tonight, in her absence, I take this position by my own authority, bestowed upon me by the Crown, to fulfill this same duty. As for the population, it remains stable, but as I announced in my speech, work is in full swing in the city. and I think we will soon be able to announce that there will be new means of livelihood for our people. This is what I can refer for this night, until words will reach my ears, spoken by our artisans and craftsmen. Such is the state of our population. Let me now turn to matters beyond our borders. The first task ahead of us is to prepare the delegation that will announce to Athens that war will soon be knocking at their door. And this will be done during next days.
Mineya is curious about their response.
Asteria turns her gaze to the Ephor with a knowing smile. I may need the assistance of an high magistrate during such endeavor. But the names for this delicate mission will be chosen with care.
Mineya nods.
Asteria says, "The last thing I can say concerns Midgard. There is a reason that compels me to return to that cursed land, and if the queen had been here tonight, I would have asked her to change her decision and allow me to go." Priestess says, "Are you discussing something?" Asteria says, "But I won't lie to you. It's a dangerous journey, and if I ever get permission, I won't ask anyone to come with me so as not to put your lives at risk." I can't say any more at the moment, but when the queen returns, things will be clearer. This completes my report on demographic and diplomatic affairs. Other voices shall now be heard. The time has come to hear what transpired in our beloved city during the week that has passed. I call upon a member of the council to step forward and enlighten this assembly with their report.
Mineya stands up and steps forward to present her reports. Eurede. Salutes.
Asteria says, Herida, salutes.
Mineya, holding her scroll with both hands, unrolls it and begins to read about the last events. But first, she will read about an event that took place 2 weeks ago which, due to an oversight, was not reported in the last meeting.
Asteria smiles and nods.
Mineya prepares to read. Last first Wednesday took place the belly dance hosted by Hieros Socrates, who reported the following. There was a Greek-themed dance party in Sparta on Wednesday, September 24th, with everyone once again enjoying a good time dancing to music which included the latest Greek hits, new tracks, urban and traditional Italia, and tracks from around the Mediterranean, with DJ Socrates Dionysus in the mix.
Asteria says, Apella si. A beautiful feast indeed.
Mineya pauses for a second. That's it. She now continues reading about what happened last week. Once again, our Hieros returned with his amazing Greek music. She will read what he himself reported. There was another Greek-themed dance party in Sparta on Wednesday, with everyone enjoying a good time dancing to music which included classic Greek hits from the 90s and 2000s, new tracks, urban and traditional Italia, and tracks from around the Mediterranean, with DJ Socrates Dionysus in the mix. DJ Socrates Dionysus.
Asteria says, Apella si.
Mineya pauses for a second and continues reading.
Asteria says, we did enjoy the music that was played and we gladly danced to it.
Mineya is sure that was a great time, she is sad she could not assist. Mineya smiles and goes on. As always, the gathering of bards took place on Sunday the 12th, and the following was reported. She will read what our counselor Alilangel reported about it.
Asteria says, "Your presence was missed, but you'll grace us another day for sure."
Mineya will do her best. Scroll released by Counselor Alilangel on subject Bards Gathering.
Asteria nods. Please proceed, Ephor.
Mineya says, on a serene Sunday morning, a poetry reading began at the Spartan Empire's cultural plaza. Full readers gathered around our plaza adorned with flowers and torches, ready to share their most intimate verses. Each of them carried a distinct voice. One spoke of love, another of melancholy, a third dedicated to hope, and the last to the strength of the human spirit.
Priestess says, "Are you discussing something?"
Mineya says, among the audience, 7 guests listened attentively, letting the words resonate in their hearts. Some closed their eyes, others smiled, and a few took notes, moved by the beauty of what they heard. The atmosphere was filled with respectful silence, broken only by the sincere applause that followed each reading. We thanks to Saber and Jolie for another Sunday of the best poetry of the world. Oaf.
Asteria says, "Apella si."
Mineya pauses briefly and continues. Mineya mentions that this same day, the training took place under the guidance of our counselor.
Asteria says, "Always a beautiful event."
Mineya will read the report on her behalf. Report released by Counselor Alilangel on subject combat training.
Asteria says, "Let us know about our warrior deeds then."
Mineya says, on midday of this Sunday, in our training arena, the ambassador, the counselor, and the Hieros gathered for a training session that combined discipline, strategy, and spirit. Under the intense sun, every movement was measured with precision, the ambassador displayed elegance and control, the consul imposed tactical strength, and the Hieros guided each exchange with wisdom. The clash of weapons echoed firmly, reminding them that the purpose of combat was not victory, but inner perfection and the union of body and mind. As the session went on, sweat marked their faces, and mutual respect became ever more evident. The Hieros' teachings resonated in the air while the consul and the ambassador adjusted their stances with humility and determination. When it ended, they bowed to one another, aware that this training had strengthened not only their skills but also their bond as guardians of discipline and honor. We thanks all presents, ambassador and Hieros, to participate on our combat training. Oaf.
Asteria smiles. Apella si.
Mineya smiles. Mineya concludes with a brief summary of the events and activities that will take place this week for everyone's knowledge. On Thursday, belly dance in autumn colors with Ephor Mineya to host. On Sunday, once again the Muses will bring inspiration in the usually well-attended bard gathering which as always is hosted by Saberman Carter.
Asteria says, "We look forward to it." Apella si.
Mineya says, later Counselor Aolangel will share her skills with the sword to train in the arts of combat the brave Spartans showing tactics of attack and defense. Mineya encourages everyone to attend these events and bring your friends and family who are sure to love it. Mineya has nothing more to add and closes her scroll.
Asteria smiles. Your report has been most illuminating, and Sparta is grateful for your vigilance. You may return to your place with our thanks.
Mineya retires to her seat. Eurede. Salutes.
Asteria says, Herida, salutes. Asteria takes a look at her next task and says the following words. This is the moment for any citizen to present their thoughts, grievances, or proposals. Who wishes to speak?
Mineya has no questions to ask and no comments to make.
Asteria looks around. Maybe there will be someone in the next Apella who has concerns to share, and we will gladly listen to them. And now, The assembly's work is nearly complete. Hieros Socrates, I summon you to offer closing prayers that the gods may bless our decisions. Priestess says, are you worshipping?
Socrates pours libations of honey-sweet wine from his chalice for the gods. To Hygeia. Queen of all, charming and lovely and blooming, blessed Hygeia, mother of all, bringer of prosperity, hear me. Through you vanish the diseases that afflict men, and through you every house blossoms to fullness of joy, and the arts thrive. The world desires you, O Queen, and only soul-destroying Hades ever loathes you. Ever youthful, ever beloved, you are a haven for mortals. Apart from you all is without avail for men, wealth, sweet to those feast, and giver of abundance, fails, and man never reaches the many pains of old age, for you are sole mistress and queen of all. But, goddess, come, ever helpful to the initiates, and keep away the accursed distress of harsh disease. Socrates pours libations of honey-sweet wine from his chalice for Hygeia. I now call on Priestess Lammy to say closing Apella prayers.
Priestess shouts, I will sing of Zeus, chiefest among the gods and greatest, all-seeing the Lord of all, the fulfiller who whispers words of wisdom to Themis as she sits leaning towards him. Be gracious, all-seeing son of Kronos, most excellent and great. We offer you a libation of sweet honeyed wine. May Zeus and the gods bless this city, its king, its princess regent, its royals, and all of its citizens. We offer you a libation of sweet honeyed wine. May the gods bless all who attended these prayers.
Socrates pours final libations of honey-sweet wine from his chalice for the gods. Socrates salutes.
Asteria says, Herida, salutes. Thank you, Hieros and Lammy. We trust that the gods will look favorably on us after these prayers. Asteria stands up to recite the final words that will conclude tonight's meeting. Before we disperse into the night, allow me to share words that have endured through the ages. Heraclitus said, "Character is destiny. May your characters forge a glorious destiny for Sparta."
Socrates claps hands.
Asteria says, "Let these words accompany you as you depart. This session of the Apella is concluded. Rise, citizens, and go forth under the protection of the gods." I thank you all for attending. Herode salutes.
Socrates salutes.
Mineya says, Eurede. Salutes.
Asteria walks toward the entrace, uttering the magical words for everyone to pass through it. Apella says, "Adine Odgar is at the gate."
Pairat says, Hieros Socrates.
Asteria says, "Thank you, Spartans. I wish you all a good night."
Mineya wishes you good night.
Socrates says, "Good night."
Priestess says, "Good night, Socrates." Asteria says, "Herode salutes."
Mineya says, Eurede. Salutes.
Socrates salutes.
Mineya says, Good night, Socrates.